What is the simplest, cheapest, and easiest to build piston extender in Minecraft? Well, stick around and you will find out. Hello everybody and welcome back to MineTech with me, Carburetor. Today we are going to be looking at the Caterpillar piston extender, which in my opinion is the simplest, cheapest, and fastest piston extender in the game. But before we do that, I just want to go over a few things. First off, I hope you guys like my new skin. Personally, I'm a little on the edge about it. My previous skin, it had the Pegasus ears or whatever on the side of the head, which I really didn't like, and it had an elytra on the back, which I really didn't like. With this one, the only thing I really don't like is I feel like it has really bad Justin Bieber hair. I don't know about you, but that's like, he needs a haircut or something. It's just not that great. But otherwise, I mean, I really like it. I really like the simplicity of it. I really love the design of it. It's just a few minor things, but let's move on to the piston extender. Now, this is what I call a Caterpillar piston extender, and mainly because of the fact that it slinks along. Now, you may recognize this from my Blaze farm and from a few of my other farms, including a Wither Skeleton farm, which I'm designing and will be coming out soon. But basically, this is the perfect piston extender design if you're going from 2 pistons to 6 pistons and anything in between. It is just a very nice, simple, compact design. Now, just for a little bit of clarification as far as simplicity, yes, I do get that if you're just using a dual piston, it's definitely not it's definitely not as simple as a simple double piston extender. But for a 6 piston extender, this is pretty tiny when you consider just how large it could be. And the redstone behind it is very simple. Now, to build this, essentially what you want is for however big you want, you set down your pistons in a row like this. So if you only want 4, you put down 4. If you want 6, you put down 6. And then you kind of need the slime blocks in front of them to connect them all together. Now, one of the benefits that you can do, though, is that if you're only doing a 4 and you want to add an actual front to it, you can actually add a front like this and it will still work. If we go over here and flick the lever to turn it on, you'll see that it still works. Now, again though, we are very much limited to the design of this based on what the pistons can push. The biggest piston draw is going to be this very first piston, because this very first piston has to push all of these slime blocks plus the pistons behind them, and that can be a lot. Now that moves on to the mechanics of it. Essentially what happens is as this redstone comes off, which I'm going to demonstrate right here, it slowly turns on sequentially, but that doesn't really matter, because essentially what happens as soon as this redstone torch comes on, this piston pushes this piston over this redstone torch, and so on and so forth, essentially extending them all out, which is why I call it a Caterpillar extender, because it kind of caterpillars out. No, what matters the most is how it turns them all off. As you can see, it slowly pulls everything back in and pulls it all together. And essentially, to make this work, you need a 2-tick pulse between each of these. I have made it work with 1-tick pulse, but it's very intermittent, and if you're playing on a laggy server, you may even need to go to 3. Now, one of the other added benefits of this, compared to something like a flying machine, is that this kind of self-repairs. I play on Exuma's LPMT series a lot, and that is a very laggy server, and I'm convinced it's because it's built overseas. It's an overseas server, whereas I live in the United States. So I have to communicate with a server that's in the UK while I'm in the United States. And that just leads to a laggy server. On my Blaze farm, I've had it where it stops like right here, and I can't do anything about it. It's broken. I don't want to go down there and fix it, but it actually turns out it kind of self-heals. Like, let's say I accidentally seize it right there, and the piston comes and it only stops right there because of like lag or something. You'll see that it kind of auto fixes itself and makes it work. Now, if this was a flying machine, that'd be broken. I'd have to go in there and I'd have to restart it. But with this design, it just works, and that's what I love about it. Now, I have it being controlled right here by what I like to call a cam wheel. Essentially, it's just hoppers and a wheel, and it makes it work very, very nicely. Now I have a further trick over here by having a 4-tick pulse go into a 3-tick pulse, 2-tick pulse, and 1-tick pulse. That basically just makes it so that it sticks out here a little bit while longer. If this was a 1-tick pulse, it'd literally get out here and be time to go right back. For a leggy server, that can be a problem because essentially it could get right here and then be time to go back. I don't want that. I want it to get all the way to the end before it returns, and that just basically makes sure that it does, without having to add any additional hoppers, comparators, or repeaters. Now, for ease of this, I'm going to just show you guys this simple design right here, and then two other complex designs which are a little bit easier on the resources. Now for this, basically every single repeater is a 2-tick delay. So you have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Over here, it basically just gets rid of that and makes all the comparators do their jobs to the fullest of their extent. So you have a 2-tick pulse, a 4-tick pulse, and then you have a 4 plus a 2, so it's a 6, a 4 plus 4 for 8, 4 plus 4 plus 2 for 10, and then 4 plus 4 plus 4 for 12. And now this further reduces the comparators by tying comparators together to save resources. Over here you can see that we have the 2 and then we have the 4, and then over here we use this 4-tick pulse repeater to add on to all of these. So it's 4 plus 2 to get the 6, 4 plus 4 to get the 8, 4 plus 4 plus 2 to get the 10, and then 4 plus 4 plus 4 to get the 12. For some reason it's very hard to say 4 plus 4 plus 4. I don't know why, I just stumble on it. But if we test this, you can see they all work sequentially. They all work exactly the same. Now, again, another really neat design element of this that I would love to investigate further is, can this be made into a vertical line? So instead of horizontal like this, can it be made like this? And can it even be made like this? I would love to see if I can make these like that, because I can think of some really awesome design elements to make these work. But anyway, again, to make this, for the slime blocks, since you're working with slime blocks, you do need to make sure that these are blocks that aren't affected by sticky pistons. If you have a line of blocks out here, which I accidentally had on my blaze farm, and it shoots out like this, you'll see it gets broken kind of quickly. Now, again, one of the awesome things about this is you get rid of all these and it kind of self-repairs, and it instantly fixes itself, which again is just one of the benefits of this system. Now, obviously, it's not as big as a flying machine can be, but if you're playing on a laggy server where flying machines don't work, this is a good alternative. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to hit that like button. If you really liked it, please make sure to subscribe. As always, you can find me on Facebook, YouTube, or even in my Gmail, which you can find in my YouTube comment page. It's just carburetor.gaming@gmail.com. But anyway, I will see you all next week.